I don't know if you've heard already, but 2025 is the year that we are boldly stepping into our hot and thriving era. We are expressing what we want without shame of it being too big or people not understanding us and actually making those big visions our reality. I also have a Notion template that's in the show notes below. It's totally free. It helps you set your goals and actually track them too so that you can say, okay, I'm crystal clear on what I want. I separated it into health, happiness, and wealth, the three sections, health, happiness, and wealth. It took me a second there to understand in each area of our lives what we want to bring in. And also in that free template that's in the show notes below, you're able to also set your morning routine, your evening routine, and actually track that too and check things off and input important dates if there's anything that you want to look forward to, goals that you're setting. Maybe it's tracking your weekly workouts, things like that. So that is totally free and it's available for you below because if you're someone like me, I need something visual to help me stay connected, essentially. You can also input your vision board in there too. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever heard of the winter arc. It was really trending around October because it was for the girlies who are doing really big things. We don't wait until January 1st to get started. We start now. We just like step into it. And a lot of people were saying that you can build massive momentum if you start around October so that when you get to January in the new year, you're miles and miles ahead. While that's absolutely true, there is something to be said about the fresh energy of a new year. And so I know you. I know you're someone who's always moving the needle forward, who's always expanding and becoming the biggest, boldest version of yourself. However, tapping into that fresh year energy, we're going to set some really clear intentions for happiness, health, and wealth today, our 5 big goals each, and talk about what big lessons I've learned from going from my flop era, broke, stressed, depressed, 15 pounds heavier than I am now, way low. Like my confidence was terrible. I didn't know if I'd be able to go full time in my business. I wasn't sure if this was even possible for me to now where I've lost the 15 pounds. I feel very confident in my body. My clothes fit better again. That was the weight that I gained in COVID that just like never seemed to come off. And I'm now working full time for myself. I'm a full time CEO, a 6-figure founder in my first year working full time for myself. So I have a lot of things to share around that different elements of bringing things together to create a very cohesive lifestyle that makes you super freaking fired up every single day to show up and be you and to go even bigger. And so that is really the areas we're going to be looking at and then setting your own goals too so that you leave this video with a clear action plan to completely level up your life in 2025 and beyond. Also, I have to be honest, there are some harsh truths that I've stuffed in here a little bit because fluffy advice, while it might feel temporarily good, like you're doing amazing, if it's not actually helpful, then it's just we're really looking just for a hug at that point. We're not looking for advice. Like this is an advice video, and the key things that helped me totally transform my life from what felt like spiraling and just like staying stuck in the same position, like growing my business only to fall backwards in sales, losing a couple pounds only to gain it right back, feeling confident only to like hear one thing and get totally like spiraled around in my body image and everything like that. Like we're talking about like the really big jumps that you want to make, which come from sometimes hearing a harsh truth to move through where you're currently stuck to get to that next level. But if you are looking for that hug, this might not be the video for you. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Alex. I am an online business coach and strategist for content strategy and growing your online empire and helping you live your best freedom lifestyle, which also comes with a lot of self-help, personal development, and mindset. So if you're into any of those topics, why don't you go and subscribe now if you aren't already? Okay, first things first, health, because health is the foundation to everything in a way. Health is wealth. You can't do anything else unless you're feeling healthy and just like good in your body. So that's where I want to start. I want to challenge you first by thinking about what health actually even means for you. Because for me right now, I was able to get even like 5 pounds thinner than I am right now. However, at that weight, like being totally transparent with you, at that weight, I wasn't able to be social in the ways that I wanted to, like having wine with friends or like going for dinners and trying different things. I had to be a little bit more regimented. Again, harsh truths, I'm being completely honest with you. So with what health means to me, that while I looked better in the terms that I was like more trim, I wasn't expressing what health really means to me, which is feeling good in my body, being healthy, and allowing myself to enjoy and indulge with my friends and social occasions. What does health actually mean to you? Because maybe it is being okay with the extra 5 pounds where you could lose that 5 pounds or you could keep it on, depending on what health looks like for you and the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. So I want you to pause this video, get out your journal, and actually express and like play around with the idea of like, what does health actually mean to me? I'm going to pretend that you actually just did that. And I want to take it a step further. And I want you to set 5 very specific and tangible goals for 2025 when it comes to health. And we're talking about like how you externally look and, things like digestion, that's on my list, things like maybe skin, those types of things. When we get into happiness, that'll be more of the mental health side of things. But get really crystal clear on five, your big five for 2025 for your health goals. One more note on setting your goals is I want you to think about your goals as SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely so that you can have some sort of idea of everything. Time could even be 2025 as a whole, or time could be maybe even Q1 of 2025. You want to hit this right away, and then you can revise your goals. You have that tracker below that's editable, so you can keep going. Maybe you are building it for quarterly goals. Maybe it's for the first half of the year. Maybe it's for the year as a whole. Make it very specific when you say your time frame, because that really helps to just like, there's actually a rule or a law, it's called Parkinson's law. It says that tasks expand to the time that you allow it. So if you put a year to hit a specific goal, you're going to hit it in a year. Or you could say 1 month and you can hit it in 1 month. Now, when it comes to health goals, and it might be weight loss or something, we want to be kind with ourselves. But I'm thinking about even just like, this is something I use a lot with my business. I could allocate a whole afternoon to doing content creation. And if I do that, it's going to take the whole afternoon versus I have an hour in between calls. I could create some TikToks then. It will only take me an hour. So thinking about Parkinson's law for your 2025 yearly goals, does it need to be the whole year, or can it be in quarters, or can it be in months? While being kind to yourself. Because of course, we don't want to drop like 20 pounds in 2 weeks, because that's just like insane. Okay, and a quick little walkthrough here. If you open up your Notion planner, you can click to health, and then there's opportunity there to input your 5 top health goals. You can also click back to the main page. You can replace the vision board that's there, and you can put your own vision board, and you can use, this is for like across like all of the health, wellness, and happiness, like your entire life. You can put images from Pinterest, put them over onto Canva. If you use a presentation style, it'll be like a nice rectangle. So presentation, blank presentation slide, put your Pinterest photos on that, save it, and you can put that where the vision board is on the Notion planner so that you can keep that top of mind as well. Because I said that I would share some truths that I realized from going from my flop era to my thriving era, and we're just starting with the thriving era too. Like, I really feel like things are about to get even better, because I've learned a lot of these things and things have become a lot easier in terms of growth as a result. I want to share some of these truths with you. Starting with, at the end of the day, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Am I a health coach? No, but that's just the facts. Like, you could eat 1 Big Mac a day and you will lose weight. I don't think you should do that. That's not healthy. And when I think about what health means to me, it's actually being healthy, like inside too, as well as like thin and so on. So that's not what I would recommend. But at the end of the day, you do need to be in a calorie deficit. And so what I like to do, because I don't like to heavily restrict myself, is to be aware of that. If I'm going out for dinner to a great restaurant and I want to try the pasta or the lasagna, then maybe I'll have a salad for my lunch. It's not for me, because what health means to me is not heavy restriction. Then being aware that you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, that helps me just to plan my life to work for me so that I feel more in control and I get to do more of what I want. And when I sit down at the restaurant and, I've lost 15 pounds and I'm ordering the lasagna and the red wine, and some of my other friends who are struggling with their weight are ordering a salad, it's like, yeah, because I'm planning my life to work for me and alongside the goals that I am working toward. Another truth is you have to move your body. Otherwise, you're just going to have to restrict so much. And I just, again, am not about that. And so the walking and working, as I've said, has changed my life. And that's a no big exaggeration. It's true. And even on the weekends, especially in the winter when it's snowy and like gross outside in Canada and Toronto, I will watch TV on my monitor or on my computer, and I'll walk, and I'll be watching Real Housewives and walking and just getting that movement that I is just so much more accessible now than like, oh, I have to book a class. Oh, the class is expensive. I just went to one. Maybe I shouldn't book one just this soon. Oh, maybe like I don't want to go to the gym because the weather's disgusting or I'm tired. Even if I'm a little bit hungover, I can still get some walking in, which has really made it just like something I can do, and it's more achievable at my regular routine. Which leads me to truth number 3. You need to plan your workouts and your movement in a way that actually aligns with you. If I am not a morning person, so if I told myself, okay, perfect, in 2025, 3 days a week, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to go to the gym. That just won't happen. Or maybe it'll happen once or twice, but it just will not stay consistent. And I know you want to stretch yourself to be like the version of you that's like the best self, but like stretching myself to be the version of me that would be the best self would be like making myself go at lunch every day. That wouldn't be 5 a.m. because I just know that I won't do it. So for me, when I set my goals, my 5 health goals of going to Pilates, that'll be a lunchtime workout or an afternoon workout that I can put in during the middle of the day. And I will also pair that with walking and working, which happens during the day. So in the evenings, I can relax, I can have a nice dinner, I can hang out with friends, I can be present. And on the weekends, I can work out if it feels good for me, but I don't have to. I've aligned my workouts in a way that I actually will show up for. And that's so, so, so important. Like, don't plan for this version of you that you've never been before and plan your goals around that. Like, plan for you now to help you step and expand into that. Okay, let's chat wealth. What you focus on is going to grow, and we want more wealth. We want to focus on it. We want to get intentional with it. We want to allow it to expand, which means in 2025, we are not avoiding checking our online banking. This is something that when I first started my business, when I first went full time for myself, I was actually terrified to do, like checking my online banking and seeing like what I might owe or what my balance is. It's like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to be able to do this? But that mindset of avoidance and that mindset of, oh my gosh, how like am I going to do this again is like that lack mentality. Instead, I want you to reframe that mentality to, I'm so excited to be, insert your goal, like reframing it in the positive. I'm so excited to be cash positive. Paying off your credit card, you can reframe to cash positive. So you're not thinking about all the debt on your credit card, you're thinking about being cash positive. I'm so excited for this. I check my online banking. It makes me more aware of where I am. It also helps me expand my wealth consciousness because I'm not afraid of money. Because I'm looking to become cash positive, I'm also more aware of opportunities to make money. Maybe you have an opportunity to babysit and you're like, oh, I don't really like babysitting, but if you're free that night, it's like, whatever, that'll help me become more cash positive because you're looking at your life from the lens of that, from the lens of your goal and the lens of moving the needle forward towards it. And so what you focus on expands. We're going to be really focusing on our consciousness and our awareness around money and our money mentality in 2025. So what are some ways that you can actually work on your money mentality in 2025? There is a great book that actually made such a difference for me when it came to how I viewed wealth and how I viewed my ability to make money and feeling empowered around the conversation. And it's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I read a lot of books. And so if I recommend one in any of these episodes or on my social media, it's because I truly, it really stood out to me because I read several books a month. I've just always been a reader. And a lot of them are like same, but different. We're talking about the same topics and like different words. A lot of manifestation books, I have to say, are like that, where it's like, okay, I've heard this in a different iteration from someone else. But it does help me still continue to really like root in the message as I continue reading about manifestation. But Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is such a good book, especially if you want to feel more empowered in your ability to create and your ability to attract what you want and your ability to make it happen. And a lot of it too isn't just like, I hope I'm just going to visualize it happening and it'll happen. It's like how to become that version of you, that wealthy version of you. And that version of you is empowered in your money and in your wealth, which is another reason like why we aren't avoiding checking our banking. It's we're making plans. We're understanding where we're at. We're making plans to get where we want to be because we aren't someone who just like hopes for the best. We're an empowered CEO of our own life. If you're looking for another book that's a little cheeky with the like, I can have whatever I want when I want attitude for money, it's Rich as Fuck and it's by Amanda Frances. I love her in terms of like the way that she expresses things. And again, like you can have as much money as you want. You're the one standing in your own way. Just get out of your own way, start applying for things, start pitching yourself to opportunities. Da, da, da. It's like that harsh truth again. Like I don't want that fluff advice. It's that step into it energy. However, she does have a little bit of a Valley Girl thing going on. If you listen to her rants, she does money rants. Those I don't love as much, but her book, Rich as Fuck, I really, really liked it. And I'm actually going to be rereading that book and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind over this like holiday break because they really inspired me for that like just make it happen energy. And because one of my goals is to 10x my business in 2025, that is something that I'm going to have to really play with in a bigger capacity, my money mentality, because I need to be trusting myself in a bigger way and just like holding myself to a bigger standard and also investing in my business with mentorship, support, people on my team, systems in a way that I've always invested in my business. I've always had coaches. I've always believed in that and walked the talk. Like I am a mentor and I always have a mentor because it's really powerful for expanding you. But the level I'm going to need to do that in 2025 to hit these goals, I'm going to really have to lean into that money mentality. Again, I'm being like totally, totally transparent. Like I have expanded so much. Last year, I invested probably like $20,000 into coaching and I profited positive from that. And energetically, I quit my job. I went full time in my business. I blew past 6 figures in my year of sales. Like all of it's worth it, but like I need to do that even bigger this year if I want to hit that next level. And so, yeah, just a truth moment. But really working on the money element of things helps you take action better because you're like, I actually believe that this is going to turn into something. And so I'm going to take action. The action could be implementing the systems, hiring the person on your team, investing in the mentorship and the coach, because now I actually trust that it's possible for me. And it starts with that wealth consciousness foundation. I also linked both of those books in the show notes below, so you can just check that out on Amazon too.
Welcome to the Content Conversion Club, your go-to program if you're an online coach, mentor, or educator ready to attract dream clients and make passive sales through magnetic content. In the Content Conversion Club, I give you everything you need to simplify your social media, grow your audience of hot leads, and convert dream clients consistently who are coming to you. This isn't just about getting followers, chasing trends, or obsessing about going viral. It's about becoming the go-to leader in your niche, building trust, and generating income while being true to you. Added bonus, when you focus on this, you're going to start making money now while also inevitably going viral. Imagine knowing exactly what to post, connecting with your audience authentically, and having a system that brings clients to you, all while simplifying your strategy. That's what we do here. We give you more time back in your life, more freedom, more abundance, and making more money as a standout leader. If you're ready to stand out, attract clients, and build a brand that works for you, now is the time. Don't let another month pass you by feeling overwhelmed or invisible. It's time to create content that converts. Let's get started.
Okay, now I want you to pause the video and actually think about what wealth means for you, what being wealthy is, what wealth looks like for you, and journal that out. Have a free flow session, and then open up your Notion planner and input over or toggle over into the wealth section and input your top 5 wealth goals for 2025. Remember to make them SMART goals and include time in them of the time that you want to make this your reality, because then we are using that Parkinson's law to make something a reality and to expand into it in that shorter time frame than, oh, all of 2025, it's going to take me that whole time to make it happen. No, in Q1 this is happening. Okay, and I saved the best for last, which is happiness. That joy, that spark, that inner knowing that we are on the right path, that feeling of alignment, and that excitement for everything that we are creating. Happiness also relates to mental health, which, as we know, like what are we doing if we're not mentally feeling like secure and safe and whole in our being? And so we're going to dive in now to happiness. And as we jump into it, I want to be honest with another like transparent truth. I grew up in a family that was extremely strict. I love my family. I am very, very close with them. Like still, like I travel with them. I love them so much. However, my dad was in the US Air Force. He's now retired, but very, very strict. Capital V, very capital S strict. Okay. And that is how I grew up. And I think a lot of who I am as a person is because of that. Oh my God, I'm emotional. A lot of who I am as a person is because of that, because I learned how to really make no excuses, dial in. And I think that's what part of what makes me a really good entrepreneur is because I'm not like out here thinking it's not possible for me. It's like just do the things, do it right, figure it out, and you'll make it happen. And that is true. But I think that like toughness helps me. That toughness also is my biggest critic. It's the voice in my head that tells me I'm not good enough. It's the thing that says, well, why would anyone want to work with you? They could work with someone else. Meanwhile, I'm putting my heart and soul into everything I do. So it's like that double-edged sword of like everything I do, I'm putting everything into because that's the caliber that I play at and I won't accept anything less. And at the same time, I will criticize myself for everything, right? So I think for me, when I reflect on what happiness means for me, it's actually a letting go of a lot of the arbitrary pressure and stress and the false sense of urgency that I put on a lot of my goals. When I quit my corporate job, I was like, okay, this could be $1 million a year. And that was fun to play with the idea of like anything is possible. But I put so much pressure on myself. The first year I'm working full time for myself, $1 million a year. Like I love being a big dreamer and I don't really like want to ever lose that. It's like set that goal and like hold myself to it and see what's possible, but allow myself to just be in the journey too, because everything is working. Everything is coming together, even when it feels like it isn't. With this, like, you need to do this or you're a failure voice, like, just doesn't serve me. And I know a lot of my clients that I work with are also high achievers and have a voice like that too. So, my open, honest share around happiness is for me, a lot of it and a lot of my big five here come from different versions and ways of me letting go of that false sense of urgency and that arbitrary pressure that I just put on something, which actually stifles my creativity in a lot of ways. The more I release the pressure, the more I become more of myself. Even showing up on this podcast and YouTube, this is something that I put off for so long because I wanted it to be perfect. And then I wanted to invest in a great camera and a whole setup. And now I'm just filming on my phone. And I just got started. I got this microphone for $30 on Amazon, and we just like got into it because this is even me in practice playing with the art of just releasing the pressure and just stepping into the next and next and next version. And maybe this time next year, or even this time in a couple of months, I'll have a beautiful camera and setup and everything. But right now, I don't need to have all that pressure on myself to get started. And so that's transcended personally and also in my business. And so I want you to take a moment and think like, what does happiness really mean for you? And after you've had time, only after you've had time to really reflect on what happiness and joy really means to you, then I want you to set your big five goals and open up your Notion planner, toggle over to happiness and input them there of your top five for 2025. I also wanted to share a good resource that I've been using for mental health and just like tapping more into happiness and understanding myself more. And it is the Mel Robbins podcast, specifically the episode called The Let Them Theory. Is just, it had such a profound impact on me because I like to control a part of me feeling like I have it figured out and that I'm like safe and secure is feeling like I have control over some things. And sometimes we just don't have control, especially when it comes to other people. Let's say you're excluded from an event. Let's say you feel like you're not good enough for this and that because someone said something. The let them theory just really helps you release anything that other people are doing and just say, let them. And you can choose to do with that what you want. And I felt like that really helped me feel more empowered in myself and bring a little bit of that control back, which helps me feel safe. Got to work on that whole control thing. That's a side note, but it just helped me feel a lot more safe. I linked the episode to the Let Them Theory episode of the Mel Robbins podcast in the show notes below, so you could listen to that. She also has a book called The Let Them Theory, which I'd imagine is like the same concept in a book form. So depending on which way you like to consume it might be interesting in a book form. I don't really think I need it because I've listened to the episode like 3 times of the podcast. So I think I've kind of got the point. But because I listened to it so many times and it really had an impact, I do have it below so you could check it out. Okay, so here's the thing. Things can happen really quickly. I don't know if you've ever heard of quantum leaping and the whole collapsing time and just like shifting timelines to become a higher version of yourself at a much more rapid pace. That is something that is so possible and happens all the time. I didn't think that I would be planning now in a realistic way. Like last year when I was planning my first year in business, $1 million a year, that was like kind of like a fun, like, oh my, wouldn't that be crazy? For me to 10x my business into next year, that would make it $1 million a year. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. I'm releasing that firm grip, that tight grip on the wheel, allowing again a lot of what I'm working on for my happiness goals. However, it's not so crazy anymore. And I'm allowing, while it might sound like a crazy goal to some people, I'm allowing, let them think it's crazy. I'm allowing the possibility because quantum leaps can happen. Things don't have to take the amount of time that you expect them to because it's happened that way in the past or it's happened for someone else, right? I struggled to lose the 15 pounds from COVID for 3 years. And then I lost it in about 3 months when I got really intentional. That is just proof right there that, like, well, it took 3 years and it didn't come off. So maybe is it going to be another 3 years? No. Stay open to the possibility of things happening much faster than you could have imagined. And I wanted to end with this note specifically because for all of your goals for health, wealth, and happiness, it doesn't have to take a long time. And when you get intentional, you can actually collapse time and accelerate forward at such a rapid pace. And I want you to stay open to that. I promised you a no BS version of how to up-level your life. I wanted to be as transparent as possible and give you the real because there's so many versions of tips and tricks online giving you that hug, but we're really moving the needle forward. And here's a transparent look at my life and how I'm doing that. And I would love to know what your goals are. I've expressed pretty openly, probably too openly. I should keep more things to myself, but let me know in the comments what you are calling in 2025, because I want to be here to hype you up. I want to build that community. And I think that we just have so much potential in front of us. There's a whole fresh space that is truly unlimited, and we can quantum leap into like an insane version of ourselves. So let me know in the comments what you are manifesting in 2025. Get the free Notion template that is in the show notes below. Fill out your goals. Send me a DM if you want to connect further on Instagram. Like, I'm here for you. And I think that one of the best things that lights me up about showing up on social media is connecting with you. So if you want to subscribe, be a part of this community, I would absolutely love that. We'll see you in the next video.